Hello everyone, Airman214 here with Solaris Paradox, and since we both just recently 100%ed Mario Galaxy 2, we felt like sharing our thoughts on it. Obviously this has a lot of spoilers, we're going to be talking about later galaxies, all that good stuff, so if you don't want it spoiled for you, don't watch this.
Oh, and spoiler alert, it's awesome.
Well, it is the
Ah,
highest rated game of all time according to games ratings or whatever it is, despite the fact that it's only been out less than a week and it's still really too early to tell.
yeah, it is. But to be honest, it's just I I loved Galaxy, but Galaxy 2 trumps it in so many ways. The only reason it's not higher on my favorite games of all time list is because you can't really get much higher than number one to begin with. But if I had to pick one reason I really like this game, it's because it places so much emphasis on the platforming challenges compared to the other 3D Mario games. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. There's a lot more 2D aspects, which is much more traditional. I also like how the level designs are a lot more streamlined. The biggest problem I had with Galaxy 1 is that they didn't really know what to do with a lot of the levels in Galaxy 1. It's like, are we doing like the 64 levels where it's kind of open world, or are we doing the whole Galaxy gimmick thing? And it was kind of those two and those two only. They didn't really have any way to segue in between them, and this level design is just much more streamlined and a lot more consistent with the rest of the game in its entirety.
And there's no deep dark galaxy. That's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually can't think of any galaxies that struck me as pointless. I can think of one or two missions that struck me as pointless. You know, there's one complaint I'd like to register. What the hell happened to the ice flower? I like the ice flower.
They brought back the spring, for God's sakes, and that's the most useless power up like ever.
They used the spring for exactly one mission, and then I had to use it again to get one of the green stars. But it's just in that one mission in the Chompworks galaxy, and it's nowhere to be seen elsewhere. It just seems so pointless. Meanwhile, the Cosmic Cove galaxy's first mission has you wall jumping up a pair of waterfalls. You did that in the first game with the ice flower. What do you do in this one? You find a button, you push it, and you freeze everything. Weak.
Nah.
I would call the Cosmic Cove Galaxy a total bust if the second mission weren't interesting enough to kind of make up for that.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
it's always the water levels that suck ass.
Yeah, but in this case, it wasn't just because it was a water level. It was just because the mission was so bland. I kind of like the swimming around in the moving chunks of floating water. That was interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh, hey, I just
The only complaint I really have is that they really didn't fix the controls or camera. They just kind of made the level designs better, so you don't notice it as much. I remember it one in World S. Which one is it? The Stone Cyclone Galaxy. Ugh, I hate that level. It's probably my least favorite in the game. Not because it's hard, per se. The speed, yes, it's fast, but it's definitely doable. It's the camera. Whenever you're doing that level, the camera is in such an awkward position that you can't
it's
tell what you're doing half the time.
it's almost
Unfortunately, that rears its ugly head in a few places, but nowhere near as bad as Galaxy 1. I'm just using it as an example to
it,
say they didn't really
it,
fix the problem. The level designs are just better.
it's almost isometric in that level, isn't it?
Something like that. It still rotates, but it's at such an angle to where you can't really tell how far you're going to jump half the time. And combined with that speed, it means you're going to fall off a lot for no reason other than the camera gypped you out of a jump.
I did die quite a few times on that level, but I don't remember it ever being because of the camera. I think it was because I was just too slow or something.
No, I was fine with the speed. It was the camera that made me not able to tell where the hell I was actually going to end up when I jumped.
Speaking of World S, I think practically no one is ever going to mention this because Throwback Galaxy is is stealing like all the nostalgia gasms and everything. But there was a level in World S that was practically ripped straight out of one of the secret areas in
Yeah,
Sunshine.
Twisty Charles.
Yeah,
You
it
know
was.
what
It
annoyed
was
me? It's like they used the overworld theme from Galaxy 2.
yeah.
Why not use the song from Sunshine? It's not like it's from a different series that another company owns. You have the track, just use it.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what kind of got me with that? Of all the levels they could have picked from Sunshine, why did they have to pick one of the most irritating?
Actually, that one was
Because
fair. That one, I find that fairly easy, but whatever.
it wasn't because it was bad per se, but it was because they hadn't really programmed the physics in Sunshine well enough for that kind of level. So, yeah, I was playing that yesterday, and it was a lot more irritating. Partly because I didn't have a spin jump or anything to fall back on when I just barely fell short of a corner or something. But
Well, Galaxy 2 has the same problems of just kind of sliding off the corners, even though you should have kind of like grabbed onto it.
yeah. But it's like there are two missions in that Galaxy and Galaxy 2. The first one gives you the cloud suit, and the second one gives you Yoshi. Yoshi's a little less helpful than the cloud suit in those circumstances, but either way, it's more than just Mario with his jumping abilities and his lack of a long jump. And yeah, I kind of don't like the way Mario controls in Sunshine either, but that's just me.
Well,
Uh,
there are problems with the way Mario controls in every game. It's just
it's
that the
still,
level design can make up for it.
yeah,
Like, for
some,
example, I explained it in my Grandmaster Galaxy video that you
that yeah,
cannot
he
jump out of a spin attack and you cannot jump after hitting an enemy. When there are a lot of enemies on screen, you will get blindsided constantly because of that. I don't know why
yeah.
it's programmed that way. I really don't.
Uh, well, I don't know either, but there are a lot of games that have sort of delays like that after certain moves.
Yeah.
You might think it's irritating in Mario, but it's nowhere near as much of a problem as it is in, say, Sonic Unleashed, where there's a sort of a delay after every dash pad where you can't actually do anything. Or something like that. I forget what it was, but it makes the control feel laggy at times. It just comes up a lot more often in that game than it would in Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Sunshine is a lot worse. Sunshine is, well, what is it? You have exactly two kinds of high jumps. One is that stupid backflip move that seems to activate more often when I don't want it to happen than when I do, because I want it to turn around and jump real quick because I'm about to fall off a platform or something, and he does this stupid high jump that spends so much time in the air that I miss the platform I'm aiming for. Yeah, thanks a lot, game. Or that stupid spin jump that I can't seem to get the right kind of height out of when I need to. Sometimes it's a low jump, sometimes it's a high jump, and I don't really get what it's supposed to do other than get the paint off of you. But, yeah, that's a bit of a tangent there. I'm sorry. I spent all night playing Sunshine, and I got 60 shines, and when you play 60 shines in a row, the game's problems just jump out at you.
Yeah.
What did you think of the green stars? Because that's the big game lengthening thing here.
I found it utterly pointless because they didn't hide them very well.
Well,
Arguably, you can't really hide them very well in a lot of these galaxies because they're 2D. But
I
then,
found them interesting at times, pointless at others, and insultingly easy a fair amount of the time. Although that might just be because I'm good at the game.
yeah, they were very easy in a lot of them. I remember one is like right at the start, and on the level preview, it shows you where it is, and it's like, wow, thank you
Yeah.
for making me spend 5 seconds to go get this. Probably the worst one is
Battle Belt Galaxy.
They didn't
Yeah.
hide them. They just put them on top of the cages, so you just made me play the level 3 times.
Yeah, you know what that was? It was because there was literally no place to hide them in that galaxy. But you want to know what the problem with that is? There shouldn't have been green stars in that galaxy to begin with.
Yeah, they
It's
should have
like
only
they-
been in certain
It's
galaxies.
like they have this stupid quota system going where every galaxy has to have the same number of green stars as they had regular stars and comet missions. But the thing is, you really could have just added another star to one of the ones that only has two, or something, rather than putting those stupid, tedious, lame ones in the Battle Belt Galaxy.
or in practically any
And
of them
then
in
there's
World
like
S.
And then there's like Cosmic Cove Galaxy, where they literally just put a star right behind the normal one, where you have to like jump off behind it. And any retard is going to see this with a cursory glance around the stage. So it's not hard to find. It's not hard to get to. What's the point? It's just lazy. It's like the other two stars are in that galaxy are okay because you kind of have to. It's in that gravity swimming section
Yeah.
where you kind of have to fall out of the water at a certain place and in a certain direction to land on the star. That's pretty okay. And then there are the ones that are insanely difficult to get to, like that one in Hightail Falls Galaxy, where you have to sort of launch yourself off the wall, jump off of Yoshi, land on the wall that was blocking you, and
Yeah.
then jump out at the thing and hope to God you didn't misjudge the depth.
Actually, I managed to get on top of the thing with Yoshi. So I
Well,
could literally just flutter jump over there and just hopped off Yoshi and just grabbed it. So
I um how do you do that when you're using the dash pepper?
what you do is you just run off. You can actually